If you're over 60 and you wake up in the middle of the night, around 2 or 3 a.m., with your mind suddenly alert, your heart beating faster, or a strange sense of anxiety for no clear reason, this may not be a sleep disorder at all. It may be coming from something you're eating at night. Many women after menopause are told that broken sleep, light sleep, or nighttime anxiety is just part of aging. But what most are never told is this. After 60, your brain and nervous system respond very differently to nighttime foods. Some foods that seem harmless, even comforting, can quietly spike blood sugar, overstimulate the nervous system, and block the production of serotonin and melatonin right when your body should be resting. And here's the good news. The opposite is also true. In this video, I'm going to show you the 4 worst night foods that ruin sleep after 60, and 4 simple foods that help calm your nervous system and support deep, natural sleep without medication or extreme routines. If you've been going to bed tired but waking up wired, stay with me. What you'll hear next may finally explain why your nights have felt so difficult, and what to change to fix them naturally. After 60, your sleep is no longer controlled only by how tired you are. It's deeply influenced by what happens in your body at night, especially how your brain chemistry responds to food, blood sugar, and inflammation after menopause. This is why so many women say, "I fall asleep fine but I can't stay asleep," or "I wake up feeling wired and anxious for no reason." The issue isn't weakness, lack of discipline, or stress you can't manage. It's that your body processes nighttime foods very differently now than it did at 40 or even 50. Certain foods eaten in the evening can quietly overstimulate your nervous system, disrupt serotonin and melatonin production, spike blood sugar, or trigger inflammation that shows up hours later, right when your body should be resting. Other foods, however, do the opposite. They calm the brain, stabilize mood, and gently support deep, restorative sleep. And the problem is that many of the foods that ruin sleep after 60 are considered harmless or even comforting. Tonight, we're going to change that understanding, because once you see how nighttime foods affect sleep after 60, everything you've been struggling with at night starts to make sense. After 60, many women notice that sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and less restorative. You may fall asleep feeling tired, yet wake up in the middle of the night with your mind alert, your heart racing slightly, or a vague sense of restlessness that's hard to explain. What most women don't realize is that what you eat at night plays a much bigger role in this than it did earlier in life. As we age, the body's ability to regulate blood sugar, stress hormones, and neurotransmitters becomes more delicate. Foods that were once harmless in the evening can now quietly disrupt the entire sleep cycle. Late-night meals that spike blood sugar force the body to release insulin, which then triggers a rebound drop in glucose levels. This drop signals the release of cortisol and adrenaline, hormones designed to wake you up, not help you sleep. The result is often waking between 2 and 4 a.m., exactly when many women after menopause struggle the most. At the same time, digestion itself slows down with age. Heavy, inflammatory, or overly processed foods eaten at night keep the digestive system working overtime when it should be resting. This ongoing digestive stress interferes with the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep, restorative sleep. Instead of drifting into long, calm sleep cycles, the brain remains partially alert, scanning for signals of imbalance. Hormonal changes after menopause make this effect even stronger. Lower estrogen levels reduce the brain's sensitivity to calming neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA. That means the nervous system becomes more reactive at night. Certain foods can either calm this system or quietly overstimulate it. This is why sleep issues after 60 are rarely just insomnia. They are often the result of nighttime choices interacting with a more sensitive nervous system. The good news is that once you understand this connection, sleep becomes something you can gently support again, rather than fight. If this explanation already helps you see your sleep struggles in a new light, subscribing to the channel. We share science-based guidance to help women over 60 sleep better, feel emotionally balanced, and regain vitality, without fear, pressure, or dependence on medication. If you're over 60 and your sleep has become lighter, more broken, or more anxious at night, the problem is not always your mattress, your hormones, or your busy mind. Very often, the real trigger is something much simpler: what you're eating in the hours before bed. And what makes this especially frustrating is that many of these foods look harmless, even healthy on the surface. They're common, comforting, and routine, But after 60, your body responds differently at night, and the wrong foods can quietly sabotage deep sleep without you realizing it. Here's why this matters for your audience. After menopause, women tend to become more sensitive to nighttime blood sugar swings, stress hormones like cortisol, and digestive friction that didn't bother them in their 40s or 50s. A food that feels fine during the day can become a sleep disruptor at night, not because you're weak, but because your nervous system, gut, and hormone balance are operating on a new set of rules. And when sleep is disrupted, mood often follows the next day. More anxiety, lower motivation, and that emotional heaviness that feels hard to explain. So in this part of the video, we're going to do something very clear and very practical. First, I'll reveal the 4 worst night foods that most commonly ruin sleep after 60. Not in theory, but in real life because of how they affect digestion, blood sugar, inflammation, and brain chemistry. Then we'll flip the script because removing the wrong foods is only half the solution. The real transformation happens when you replace them with the right nighttime options that calm your nervous system, support serotonin and melatonin, and help you sleep deeper, naturally. And here's the most important promise. You don't need extreme dieting, complicated supplements, or medications to see improvement. You just need the right nighttime strategy, tailored to the way your body works now. Let's begin with the first 2 worst night foods, because one of them is something many women eat every single evening without realizing it's the reason they wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. Let's begin with the first 2 night foods that quietly sabotage sleep after 60. These are foods many women eat believing they are harmless, or even comforting, without realizing how strongly they interfere with nighttime rest, emotional calm, and the brain's natural sleep chemistry. Worst night food 4. Sugary desserts and sweet snacks at night. After dinner, it's common to crave something sweet. A cookie, a small slice of cake, a bowl of ice cream, or even just a little chocolate can feel soothing in the moment. But after 60, sugar late at night creates a powerful chain reaction that works directly against deep, restorative sleep. When you consume sugar in the evening, blood sugar rises quickly, and then drops just as fast. This sudden drop triggers the release of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, precisely when your body should be shifting into rest mode. Instead of drifting into calm sleep, the nervous system stays alert, making it harder to fall asleep and much easier to wake up during the night. For many women over 60, this shows up as waking around 2 or 3 a.m. with a racing mind, shallow breathing, or a vague sense of anxiety. It's not insomnia by personality, it's a blood sugar issue. Sugar also suppresses melatonin production and interferes with serotonin's nighttime conversion into melatonin, disrupting the natural sleep rhythm your body relies on. Worst night food 3. Alcohol in the evening, even just 1 glass. Wine, beer, or a nightcap is often seen as a sleep aid. It may help you fall asleep faster, but after 60, alcohol is one of the most damaging foods for sleep quality, especially for women after menopause. Alcohol acts as a sedative, not a true sleep promoter. It suppresses REM sleep and deep sleep stages, which are essential for emotional regulation, memory consolidation, and nervous system repair. As the alcohol wears off in the middle of the night, it causes a rebound effect, increasing heart rate, body temperature, and cortisol levels. This is why many women fall asleep easily after a drink, but wake up feeling restless, overheated, anxious, or emotionally fragile. Alcohol also worsens nighttime hot flashes, increases nighttime urination, and irritates the gut, all of which further fragment sleep. After menopause, the body processes alcohol more slowly, making these effects stronger even with smaller amounts. What once felt relaxing can now quietly steal the deepest, most healing phases of sleep. These first 2 foods are so common that many women never think to question them. But removing them from the evening routine alone can significantly improve sleep depth, nighttime calm, and morning energy. Next, we'll look at the 2 most damaging night foods of all. The ones that most strongly disrupt brain chemistry and emotional balance after 60, often without obvious warning signs. These foods don't just interfere with digestion, they directly affect brain chemistry, stress hormones, and nighttime nervous system balance, which becomes far more sensitive after menopause. Worst night food 2. Refined carbohydrates, white bread, crackers, pasta, rice. Many women reach for refined carbohydrates at night because they feel comforting. A slice of white bread, crackers, a bowl of pasta, or white rice may seem harmless, even relaxing. But after 60, these foods often sabotage sleep from the inside out. Refined carbs cause a rapid spike in blood sugar, followed by a sharp drop just a few hours later. When that drop happens during sleep, the body releases cortisol and adrenaline to stabilize blood sugar. This is one of the most common hidden reasons women wake up between 2 and 4 a.m. feeling restless, anxious, or suddenly alert. After menopause, insulin sensitivity declines, meaning these blood sugar swings become more intense and harder to regulate. The brain interprets the drop as a stress signal, pulling you out of deep sleep and preventing the natural production of melatonin. What feels calming at bedtime often turns into fragmented sleep, vivid dreams, night sweats, or early waking. Over time, this pattern trains the nervous system to stay on high alert at night, the exact opposite of what the aging brain needs to rest. Worst night food: 1. Aged and high histamine foods. Cured meats, aged cheeses, leftovers. The number one worst category of night food after 60 isn't always obvious, because it's often considered normal, or even healthy. Aged cheeses, cured meats, smoked foods, and even leftovers stored for several days are all high in histamines. Histamine is a natural compound, but after menopause, many women lose the ability to break it down efficiently. At night, elevated histamine levels act as a brain stimulant, not a relaxant. They increase alertness, raise heart rate, and can trigger anxiety, itching, headaches, hot flashes, and insomnia, especially in women who already struggle with light sleep. This is why some women feel wired but tired at night, or wake up with racing thoughts for no clear reason. The brain is reacting chemically, not emotionally. Histamine also interferes with melatonin release, blocking the body's natural sleep signal. Even small portions of aged or leftover foods can have an outsized effect after 60. Removing these foods is a powerful first step. But eliminating the wrong foods alone is not enough to restore deep, nourishing sleep. At this point, many women feel a sense of relief. They recognize some of the night foods that have been quietly sabotaging their sleep, and they think, all right, I'll just stop eating those. And while that's an important first step, it's only half of the solution, especially after 60. Here's something most sleep advice never explains clearly. Removing harmful night foods helps reduce irritation to your nervous system, but it does not automatically restore calm, deep sleep. After menopause, the body doesn't simply rebound once a problem is removed. It needs intentional support to shift back into balance. As we age, the sleep system becomes more sensitive and less forgiving. Hormonal changes, especially the decline in estrogen, affect how your brain produces melatonin, how your nervous system relaxes at night, and how stable your blood sugar remains while you sleep. That means that even if you avoid the worst foods, your body may still struggle to fully wind down unless it receives the right signals. Think of it this way. Poor night foods act like noise. They overstimulate the brain, spike blood sugar, or trigger inflammation. Removing them lowers the noise. But to actually fall into deep, restorative sleep, your body also needs gentle cues of safety and nourishment. This is why many women say, I stopped eating sugar at night, but I still wake up tired, or I avoid heavy foods, yet my sleep feels light and broken. The nervous system isn't just trying to avoid harm. It's looking for reassurance. The right night foods provide that reassurance. They help stabilize blood sugar, support serotonin and melatonin production, calm the stress response, and signal to the body that it's safe to rest. This becomes especially important after 60, when the brain needs clearer signals to transition into sleep. So instead of thinking only in terms of restriction, the real shift happens when you move into replacement. Removing what harms your sleep creates space. Adding what supports sleep allows the body to finally use that space to heal, relax, and restore. Now that we've talked about the night foods that quietly sabotage your sleep, it's time to shift the focus to what truly helps your body unwind after 60. Because sleep isn't just about turning the lights off. It's about sending the right signals to your nervous system that it's safe to rest, digest, and recover. Let's start with best night food. 4. Plain Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt may seem simple, but for women over 60, it offers a powerful combination of nutrients that directly support sleep and emotional calm. It's rich in tryptophan, the amino acid your brain uses to produce serotonin, which later converts into melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. What makes Greek yogurt especially helpful at night is its balance of protein and natural calcium. Calcium plays a key role in helping the brain use tryptophan effectively, and many women after menopause are unknowingly low in calcium at the cellular level, even if they consume dairy during the day. In addition, Greek yogurt supports the gut-brain connection. A calmer gut often means a calmer nervous system, especially in the evening when anxiety tends to rise. When eaten in the evening in a small portion, Greek yogurt helps stabilize blood sugar, preventing the nighttime cortisol spikes that wake many women between 2 and 4 a.m. For best results, it should be plain, unsweetened, and consumed slowly, allowing the nervous system to shift into a rest and digest state rather than stimulation. Now let's move to best night food 3, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are one of the most overlooked sleep-supporting foods for older women. They are exceptionally rich in magnesium, a mineral that becomes increasingly important after menopause. Magnesium helps relax muscles, quiet racing thoughts, and regulate the stress response. Low magnesium levels are strongly linked to difficulty falling asleep, restless legs, nighttime anxiety, and frequent awakenings, all common complaints after 60. Pumpkin seeds also contain zinc, which supports the conversion of tryptophan into serotonin, and small amounts of healthy fats that slow digestion and promote stable blood sugar throughout the night. This combination makes them especially useful as a gentle evening food. Unlike sugary snacks, pumpkin seeds do not spike insulin or overstimulate the brain. Instead, they send a signal of safety and nourishment, helping the body shift out of alert mode. A small handful in the early evening, or paired with another calming food, can make a noticeable difference in how relaxed the body feels before bed. For many women, pumpkin seeds help reduce that subtle inner tension that makes it hard to fully unwind at night. These two foods don't force sleep. They support the conditions that allow sleep to happen naturally, which is exactly what the aging nervous system responds to best. If this part of the video is helping you see nighttime nutrition in a new way, take to gently tap the like button. It helps this content reach other women over 60 who are struggling with sleep and don't know where to start. These two foods work not by forcing sleep, but by restoring the natural chemistry that allows sleep to happen on its own. Best night food 2, oatmeal, plain unsweetened. Oatmeal may sound simple, but for women over 60, it can be one of the most effective evening foods when used correctly. Oats are a natural source of complex carbohydrates that gently help tryptophan enter the brain, where it can be converted into serotonin and later into melatonin. This process is especially important after menopause, when serotonin production becomes more fragile. Unlike refined carbs, oatmeal releases glucose slowly. This helps prevent nighttime blood sugar drops, one of the most common causes of waking up anxious, restless, or unable to fall back asleep after midnight. For many women, those sudden awakenings are not emotional at all, they are metabolic. Oats also contain small amounts of magnesium and B vitamins, which support nervous system relaxation. When eaten in the evening, oatmeal sends a signal of safety to the brain, helping the body shift out of stress mode and into rest mode. The key is how you eat it. A small portion made with water or unsweetened almond milk works best. Adding a pinch of cinnamon can help stabilize blood sugar even further. Avoid sugar, honey, or sweet toppings at night. When used this way, oatmeal doesn't spike energy. It grounds the nervous system, making sleep feel more natural and less forced. Best night food 1, banana. At the top of the list sits one of the most underestimated night foods for women over 60, the banana. Bananas are uniquely suited for nighttime because they support both the nervous system and sleep hormones at the same time. They are rich in potassium and magnesium, two minerals that help relax muscles, calm nerve signaling, and reduce nighttime restlessness. Many women don't realize that subtle muscle tension and nerve excitability are what keep the body alert, even when the mind feels tired. Bananas also contain vitamin B6, which is essential for converting tryptophan into serotonin. Without enough B6, that conversion slows down significantly. This makes bananas especially valuable after menopause, when serotonin production becomes less efficient. Another important benefit is their natural carbohydrate content. When eaten in moderation, bananas help stabilize nighttime blood sugar and support melatonin release without overstimulating the body. This is why many women notice fewer nighttime awakenings when a small banana is eaten in the evening instead of sugary snacks. The best way to use a banana at night is simple. Eat one small banana about 60 to 90 minutes before bedtime, either alone or paired with a small amount of protein, such as a spoon of plain yogurt or a few nuts. This combination keeps blood sugar steady while enhancing serotonin and melatonin production. What makes bananas so powerful is not that they knock you out, but that they help your body remember how to rest. Now that you know which night foods quietly damage sleep after 60, and which ones support deep, restorative rest, the most important question becomes practical. How do you actually use these foods at night without disturbing your digestion, blood sugar, or emotional balance? Because after 60, sleep isn't just about what you eat. It's about when, how much, and how your nervous system responds. One of the most common mistakes women make is eating too late or too heavily. As digestion naturally slows with age, a large or rich meal close to bedtime keeps the body in a state of metabolic activity, when it should be shifting into repair and calm. This can lead to restlessness, frequent waking, vivid dreams, or waking up tired even after many hours in bed. Ideally, your last full meal should be finished 2 to 3 hours before sleep, giving your body time to digest and lower cortisol naturally. If you feel hungry later in the evening, the goal is not to ignore your body, but to respond gently. A small, intentional night snack can actually support sleep when chosen wisely. Portions should be modest, about 150 to 200 calories, and focused on calming the nervous system rather than stimulating it. This is where foods that support serotonin and stable blood sugar become helpful, especially when combined properly. Another key factor is combination. Eating protein alone at night can feel heavy, while carbohydrates alone may spike blood sugar. The most sleep-friendly approach is pairing a small amount of protein with a gentle carbohydrate. This combination helps tryptophan enter the brain more efficiently, supporting serotonin and its nighttime conversion into melatonin. Just as important, it prevents the blood sugar dips that often trigger nighttime anxiety or early waking. Timing matters emotionally as well. Many women notice their anxiety peaks in the early evening, not because something is wrong, but because cortisol rhythms change after menopause. Eating supportive foods during this window, rather than late at night, helps calm the nervous system before it becomes overstimulated. Think of evening food not as fuel, but as a signal of safety to your body. Hydration also plays a role. Drinking large amounts of fluid right before bed can fragment sleep due to nighttime bathroom trips. Instead, focus on hydration earlier in the day, and keep evening fluids minimal and warm if possible, which is more soothing to the nervous system. Most importantly, consistency matters more than perfection. You don't need to follow strict rules or overhaul your routine overnight. Choose 1 or 2 supportive habits and repeat them nightly. Over time, your body begins to anticipate rest, digestion becomes smoother, and sleep deepens naturally. If your sleep hasn't felt restorative after 60, if nights bring restlessness, anxiety, or that quiet feeling of being emotionally on edge, this was never a personal failure. It was your body responding to changes that no one ever properly explained to you. Sleep after menopause becomes more sensitive. Hormones shift, the nervous system stays alert longer, digestion slows, and blood sugar becomes less stable at night. When the wrong foods are added on top of that, the body struggles to fully relax. But when the right foods are introduced, something gentle and powerful happens. Your system finally receives the signal that it is safe to rest. Better sleep is not about forcing your body into unconsciousness. It's about creating the conditions where calm can naturally take over. When you remove the foods that overstimulate your brain and replace them with foods that support serotonin, melatonin, and blood sugar stability, sleep stops feeling like a battle. It becomes a natural transition again. If you're over 60, it is not too late to sleep well again. Your body is still responsive. Your nervous system still knows how to unwind. With the right support, restful nights can return. Quietly, gently, and naturally. If this kind of science-based guidance feels helpful to you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so these conversations can continue to reach you. See you in the next video.